what's your emergency?
Welcome back to That Weewoo Show, a podcast where we watch and discuss episodes of the ABC show 911. I'm Bex.
I'm Alice.
And I'm Ellen.
As we say every week, thank you so much to everyone who has listened to our past episodes, who have shared our social media posts, who have commented on said social media posts or their podcast platform of choice, or who have rated our podcast on Spotify or Apple Podcasts. All of the ways that you can let us know that you are listening, that we aren't just sitting here talking to ourselves, which honestly we don't mind. We would quite happily do that every week.
Yeah. We're very happy just talking to each other.
But occasionally
that people are listening.
Occasionally it's nice when we, scream into the void and the void screams back at us. Like Ella this week, who screamed back at us on Spotify, letting us know their thoughts about the episode Parenthood. So thank you so much for that. We really do appreciate it, especially because they agreed with us. And we do like that.
We're okay with people disagreeing too, but we do love it when people agree.
We do love a friendly disagreement, but we also love friendly agreement.
Yes.
So before we get into this week's episode, Alice, would you kindly remind everybody what happened in last week's episode?
Yeah, so last week on 911, Sue from Dispatch was injured in a hit and run, which ended up being tied to a kidnapping, and Josh began and saved the day. Also, the 118 were there.
But Josh was
bad
the star.
118.
The bad place 118.
The bad place 118.
The bad place 118.
All right, so in this episode, this is episode 12, which is a hard right turn from last week's episode, basically. This is Treasure Hunt. It aired on the 10th of May in 2021, and the official summary says, when a famous mystery writer dies, Athena, Bobby, and the 118 respond to the chaos caused by a citywide manhunt for buried treasure the author left behind. And we have very mild triggers this week involving cheating and a drowning threat in a septic tank. And other than that, it is pure hilarity. Or maybe we could have like a warning for just people doing stupid shit. I don't know. This episode was so much fun, but oh my God. Yes. Some of the decisions made.
So dumb. It was so good. Yeah, in a rare twist of events, like there's most of the episodes, I really like the first time I watch. And then the second time I watch, I'm like, yeah, okay, that was really dumb. And it'll probably change as we break it down, but I actually really preferred this the second time I watched it.
Yeah.
I don't know if it's because I know Ravi more as a character, so I was more involved in like his part of it as well. But yeah, the first time I just sort of like checked out halfway through. This time I was so involved. I was like, yeah, get the treasure.
All right, well, let's get that treasure, as Alice said. So we are going to start the episode on a nature hike where Emma and her dad are, I think they're bird watching, or at least Emma seems to be very knowledgeable about the birds that she's noticing on their hike.
Emma's bird watching at least.
Isn't it a plant? She finds one called Artemisia californica, but she says it's a sagebrush.
One moment, please.
Sagebrush is a plant.
It is indeed a plant. It's also known as cowboy cologne.
Okay, so they're plant watching, which is
not as interesting.
She just knows a lot about, botany for some reason.
It is apparently in the same family as the sunflower.
Oh, there you go.
But her dad liked it better when she knew the names of dolls.
Yeah, her father could care less. This
girl's like, Dad, I never played with the dolls. It's like, no, she's too interested in learning the names of random plants.
Good on her.
And unlike a lot of the cold opens that we get on this show, these two are not at threat. Nothing horrible is going to befall Emma or her father. But they are
a lovely sunny walk through the forest,
where they are going to lead us to the first emergence of the episode, because Emma fishes a bottle out of the river that appears to have a message in it.
Yeah, it's funny because it starts with it like they're walking through the forest and there's this nice calm music, and then they find the bottle and it starts getting a little bit mysterious. And then she
the
goes,
music takes an
blood?
immediate 180 turn when they pull the note out of the bottle, and there's blood smeared on it, and the note, very helpful. I mean, we talk shit about people not being incredibly informative when they make 911 calls. This note is, I think, even worse.
Yeah, considering like it could have ended up anywhere.
Yeah, well, I don't know what this guy was hoping, that like the stream doesn't look like it's got a lot of water in it. So I don't know how what he was hoping it would do. But anyway, they're lucky that someone stumbled on it. But anyway, they call 911 and Maddie takes the call, of course.
Of course.
And it was like, this call is also like, he's totally not being helpful because she asked, like he says, I think someone's trapped on a cliff. And Maddie's like, do you have a more precise location? And he says, upstream. Like,
to be fair, I mean, that's pretty much all he's working with.
Yep, that's all I know.
He's in Malibu Creek Park, and he assumes the bottle came from somewhere upstream of the river. It's not like there are mile markers on the path that they're walking that he can give Maddie. So Maddie is it's one of those calls where somebody's reporting in, but they can't give her enough information. So she's questioning, like, why are you even calling 911? What makes you think someone's trapped? And the father says, well, we found a message in a bottle, and we get to see the note, which literally just says, help, I'm trapped on a cliff, call 911.
Yeah, like, thank you.
No latitude and longitude, no kind of locations, no name, no nothing.
I mean, when they find him later, he's kind of delirious, so maybe he just thought it was a good idea at the time, but who knows how long ago he actually sent the bottle down the creek.
I think do we figure that?
No, well, they get the date from the receipt that's written on, but that's obviously when he bought something.
Yeah, he says he's been there for 5 days. They're not sure.
Yeah.
But we're getting ahead of ourselves slightly. So, search and rescue are deployed. Rescue helicopter is deployed. The 118 are deployed.
Yeah, where is this? Okay, look, I'm just going to Google this quickly. Where is Malibu State Park? I'm interested. Oh, that's miles away. Oh my God.
So okay.
Yeah.
The helicopter.
Sorry. I guess it's not that far from Santa Monica, but still, how did the 118? Anyway, never mind.
And also, why are Jim and Maddie working at the same time? Who's looking after the child?
Oh yeah,
Mrs. Lee.
I guess so. Albert, who can hardly dress himself.
No, that's a really good point. I guess somebody forgot about that.
We don't know how long it's been since the last episode, do we?
No.
I don't think we get any indication.
Yeah, G's actually 17 at this point. She's good.
She's fine. She's fine on her own.
She's just doing her thing. You know how it is.
I wonder if this was a kind of episode that they just threw in here, but it got filmed earlier, so it's out of sequence.
It could be. Although Maddie's not pregnant.
No, but it's... I don't know. I would not put it past the writers to have forgotten about the fact that Maddie and Chim are supposed to be on opposite shifts in order that someone was doing childcare. I am trying to give them the benefit of the doubt by going, oh, it was because this episode was supposed to go somewhere earlier in the season and they left it till later. I'm apparently feeling very generous tonight with the writers.
Maddie's not in this episode very much, so I don't know if they actually show her tummy at all.
Look, she's probably just hanging with Mrs. Lee. It's fine.
Yeah, we'll go with that. I'm giving the writers some grace because I'm going to rip into them later on in this episode. So,
okay.
So Fire Rescue 1 comes in to pick up 2 of the paramedics to take them on a flyover of the park, and Bobby nominates Chim and Eddie to go. And Buck is literally pouting as Eddie goes to get harnessed up.
So jealous.
Absolutely.
He's like, oh man, someone else gets to go in a helicopter with my boyfriend.
Enough that Chim tells him he can go next time.
But I don't know if he's more upset about the fact that he doesn't get to go with Eddie, or if it's the fact that he doesn't get to go in the helicopter.
Yeah, bit of both.
So Chim and Eddie get flown over the state park, and luckily for them, their target is quite easy to spot because he is on top of a large rocky outcropping with a lime green kind of tent, which is very easy to see.
Yeah. And he is standing up and waving as well, which is a good sign.
Yes.
Okay, so this bit I was like, I meant to look this up actually to see how realistic this is, because Eddie gets lowered down from the helicopter, right?
Yes.
And then he lands on the rock and he doesn't unclip or anything. He just stands there. And I'm like, is this really dangerous? Because
what if the helicopter suddenly got blown off course?
Yeah, if the helicopter... like, how stationary can a helicopter be in midair? Like, I know they're fairly stationary, but, like, wouldn't it be safer...
Yes, I think safety-wise, if anything happened to the helicopter, like you can imagine Eddie's reaching to the victim to help them, and all of a sudden the winds change or something, and the helicopter gets blown sideways, and Eddie just gets ripped off the rock and starts swinging. I did notice that too.
For the drama.
But for the drama, they don't unclip him. He stays clipped up while he talks to Clyde, who is not particularly interested in being rescued. He just wants to know if there are any willow trees around this particular area.
Totally normal thing to ask. You know how it is.
Yeah.
Yeah. Chimps knows from up in the helicopter that this guy is severely dehydrated. He's got the magic,
like, he doesn't even have to be within arm's reach of them anymore. He can do it from, 50 feet up in the air. It's amazing.
Yeah, he's good. Yeah. Anyway, when Eddie gets down there, he hands a bottle of electrolytes to the guy. And he asks Clyde how long he's been there and everything. And it turns out that Clyde's actually broken his ankle. And so it's all swollen up and it looks horrible.
Mm.
They did a good job with the makeup on that one. It looks really nasty.
It does look really nasty.
And he's like,
maybe they actually broke his ankle.
Method acting.
And he's like, we're going to get you out of here. And Clyde's like, no, just give me painkillers or something. I'm going to stay here and keep looking. And he's like, no, you're coming with me. And puts the harness around him and they, fly back up to the helicopter basically.
Yep. Ascend back up to the heavens and they return them back to the staging area.
Thank you for this fun fact here. I did not know that.
It's so fun, isn't it? So, for those of you who can't read my notes, did you know that despite the fact that we break down the word helicopter to be like a copter or a chopper, that is not the actual origin of the word. It's not a helio and a copter. It's actually helicopter, which means spiral wing in Greek.
Yeah. There you go. I needed to learn something today.
Don't say you never learn anything in this podcast.
Full of fun facts, just like Buck is.
Oh, he's full of fun facts in this episode, all right. But anyway, we're not there yet. They get back to the staging area and Hen and Buck bring the gurney over so they can get Clyde out of the helicopter and take him off to hospital. Oh, he says, this is where Chim says he's kind of delirious, and I think it's just, he's not that delirious, he just doesn't want to tell them what he's been doing.
I don't know. The ravings of a madman when they get him onto the gurney and start to wheel him away could be chalked up to delirium, because as they are wheeling him back towards the rescue ambulance, after Bobby and Hen have both chastised him for, not using his phone for its, the purpose for which God intended it, which is to call for help. He tells them that he didn't want to leave. He was so close, he didn't want anyone else to find the treasure. It was his. The treasure's his. Don't tell anyone. Don't let anyone take it. It's his. The treasure is his. And he keeps repeating that as they wheel him away.
As soon as he says the word treasure, Buck's eyes just light up. He's standing in the background and he's just like,
treasure?
What?
Oh, but then we get like this beautiful shot where the camera sort of pans up and it's Bobby and Buck posing in front of the helicopter, which is still spinning with the sunlight burning behind them brightly. And Buck, exposition firefighter, just says, "Did he say treasure?"
And in fact, it takes a little while to realise that it's not just Buck who's inspired by this, but Bobby is also the wheels are turning. But I think it probably takes him a little while to get really invested in it. But oh dear. Just as soon as so Buck said that, I was just like, oh, here we go. Don't say that in front of Buck. He's going to run with that.
Well, and Clyde and Buck are correct. There was a treasure because what are we going to say? He's a crime writer, a detective writer, murder mysteries.
Murder mystery, I guess?
Murder mystery author Hollis Harcourt allegedly passed away in his sleep, leaving behind an intriguing message to his loyal fans, which was that he has buried a chest of treasure somewhere in the city of Los Angeles, and the treasure is rare and priceless, but if you had to put a price on it for tax reasons, it'd be about $5 million. And Taylor is reporting this on Channel 8 News. Apparently Hollis has made a video message, which they are playing through the news segment. The 118 are all watching this back at the station house with varying responses. Some of them look absolutely dumbfounded. Some of them are like, "Are you serious?" Eddie, like, his eyes are bulging out of his head as soon as he hears it's $5 million. And the trick is that Hollis has written a poem or a riddle giving clues as to the location of the treasure. So then we cut to the 118, they're all individually on their phones reading the same poem.
Yeah. It's a terrible poem. It's terrible.
It sounds like a kid's riddle. Like, it sounds like Dr. Seuss. Like, well, maybe not that far. That's sort of like an insult to Dr. Seuss. But I mean, if you're trying to think up clues and making them rhyme, then I guess he's done a fine job. But it's not exactly literally masterpiece.
No, definitely not. Buck is intrigued about the idea of a real life treasure hunt. And you can see the interest starting to put the feelers out. Like, wouldn't that be kind of cool if there was a treasure hunt? Everybody else immediately shoots him down.
Yeah, they're like, it's stupid, reckless, probably not even real. And he's like, yeah, but what if it is?
Poor Buck.
We could find it.
I think the rest of the 118 are more concerned with the fact that everybody else in LA is going to think that the treasure is real, and that their friend Clyde is likely not the last emergency that they are going to see. And Eddie puts in a little bit of a passive-aggressive jab at Buck by saying that
it's a dig.
Your girlfriend's news story is probably not going to help out with that. And
Buck's like, she's my friend, not my girlfriend. She's just doing her job. She's reporting the news.
And Eddie gives a yeah, right look in response. And like, Edmundo, just because you're getting some doesn't mean that you can make fun of Buck. And the fact is, you are getting some, so why are you worried about what's going on with Buck? Like, be happy with Anna.
Anna's not even in this episode at all.
Anna who?
Yeah, but Taylor, he, actually calls Buck, and he's like, "I just saw you on the TV."
And she wasn't a rerun this time.
No, is that how you always answer calls to Taylor? Because you seem to be watching her on the TV a lot. But anyway, she has just finished giving the crust that she was just doing, and she wanted to check out that because she heard a rumour that the 118 responded to a call. How does she hear this rumour? I don't know. She's got feelers in all over the place, apparently.
She's probably got a police scanner in the van and she can pick up on dispatch calls.
Maybe. But yeah, Buck sort of says that the treasure hunter guy didn't find anything. The whole thing's probably fake, right? And Taylor's basically talking him into it. She's like, I'm not so sure. And so they decide to compare notes and see if they can team up and find it together.
Yes, there are they're going to be doing a public service by finding the treasure so that nobody else gets hurt looking for the treasure.
Yeah, it's totally out of the goodness of their own hearts.
Oh yeah, totally selfless.
Yeah, and no one else will get hurt.
Everybody wins if they find the treasure. And then
especially Buck and Taylor.
And then Buck looks over at the rest of the 118 and he goes, well, maybe not everybody, because they're all in the kitchen oblivious to the scheme that he is hatching with Taylor.
For now.
For now, yes. So last week I was wondering where Romero was. Romero was back this week. Which
I want to know what else Athena has walked in on, because she walks in and they're all clustered around a computer screen and she's like, please tell me that's not porn or sport. I'm like, what kind of question is that? Like,
probably a legitimate one. Although why sport is equated with porn, I don't know.
Yeah, right.
But
it's just a weird thing to say.
Especially considering Romero outranks her. Anyway, it's neither porn nor sports. The officers of the LAPD are instead watching Hollis's video about the treasure. And Romero informs her that apparently a guy buried $5 million somewhere in the city and then told people to go out and find it. And Athena is very, very over this. She says that she misses the days when bored rich people would just name wings of museums and the hospitals after themselves. Have we talked to this misguided citizen about this harebrained idea? And Romero informs her that he wishes that they could, but the dude's dead. Athena's like, right, did we post uniforms at his grave? And Romero just looks at her like,
why would we do that?
Athena's like, that's the first place they're going to start looking for the treasure. And Romero's like, yeah, that's a good point. Hey, Kev, go and check out the gravesite for me, would you? Thanks.
At least someone's thinking. Thanks, Athena.
Yes. Her work done. She walks away.
Like, she walks away, but Romero follows her. And he's like, how bad do you think this is going to get? And I'm like, she's only just found out about it. Why are you asking her?
Because apparently she's the one with the brains of the operation.
Yeah, I mean,
and
maybe
also
she's had experience in, like, the whole city hunting for treasure. I don't know, but...
Also, it's Angela Bassett, and she has to be the one in control, because she's true. Angela Bassett.
It's part of her contract.
Exactly.
But no, she does make a good point. She says that everyone's, getting stir crazy from the lockdowns, and this is the first chance that people get to get out there and look for stuff, so they're going to do it. Everyone's going to do it.
See, they should have just done Pokemon Go like everybody else.
Yeah.
But no, this treasure hunt is going to send them over the edge. And then we get, I think, one of my favourite needle drops of this season, which is One Way or Another by Blondie.
It's great.
Yeah. As we get a montage of everybody searching for the treasure and the 118 responding when the search goes wrong. And the 911 dispatch is being absolutely run off their feet with the volume of calls coming in.
And Taylor is getting, making the money by going around and reporting on all of the things.
Oh, yeah, she's having a great time.
This first bit she does, there's this woman who gets out of an ambulance and she has an entire tree branch through her shoulder.
Which has not been stabilised by gauze at all. They're just letting her sit there.
Sticking through. I don't know how this has happened.
I do love that she notices the camera and then she just kind of tries to put her hand, her free hand over her face to shield herself so that nobody knows that it's her.
It's the second serious injury. Apparently, next there is a fight in Balboa Park that Maddie takes the call of. And Maddie says, are they armed? And this woman says, sort of. And it turns out these two guys are trying to whack each other with metal detectors.
Yeah, dueling metal detectors.
Yeah.
So we've got the woman with the tree branch through her shoulder. We've got dueling metal detectors in Balboa Park. At Griffith Park, there is a man trapped under a bear statue because he was trying to dig under it and it fell on him. But what I love is that every time the 911 dispatchers get a call, they cross a name off a list because they've got a betting pool going on a whiteboard of where they think the treasure is.
Pool. It's so good.
And so they get the call about the guy under the bear statue, and once Buck and Eddie and Bobby use their tools to get the guy out, they report back to 911 that the guy's fine, they've got him out, and they have the dispatchers, somebody crosses Bear Park statue on Griffith Park off the list. And Jamal has to pay up because apparently that was his pick.
But I think the 118 are also like keeping tabs on what's been done kind of thing.
Yeah, because Eddie makes a comment that he's also crossing it off a list. But I don't think it's as structured as the dispatchers. And I'm guessing the 118 don't have money on it the way Linda's collecting money for hers, for theirs.
Yeah, it's surprising. In the past they have done this sort of thing, but
maybe Bobby put an end to it this time.
Taylor seems to just be hanging out at the hospital. And she lets us know that I think it's towards the end of the day that the latest numbers show 6 hospitalizations and 17 arrests since the treasure hunt was announced. And then a woman comes running up to her, getting on camera, screaming that it's a hoax and begging people to stop risking their lives. And when Taylor tries to brush her off and return to her camera piece, the woman literally grabs the microphone from Taylor and says, "My husband almost died, more people are going to die." And she is not wrong, because the next emergency the 118 are dispatched to is a guy who is using a mini excavator to dig, but he has not dialed before he dug.
Oh, God.
And his mini excavator goes through a gas line.
I don't know how Bobby knows that this is going to happen. Someone obviously is called to say this guy is digging in the park. And then the 118 have turned up. I guess they were just running away to get out of the way.
I'm going to say that the way that Bobby was racing towards him, telling him that he had to stop digging, somebody has looked up the gas lines and the gas mains and realised that there is a gas line under that park. And so Bobby is well aware that if he digs, it could end badly, which it does. Bobby
one of the guys jumps through the window.
Eddie dives through the window of the cab.
It's the best. It's so good.
Everybody else just runs around behind the truck, and Eddie is feet dangling out the window as he slides across the back seat. And of course, the guy digs and severs the gas main, and there is an explosion. And the gazebo that he was next to is on fire, and the gas is on fire, and it's quite impressive.
But I had fun with this one, like the stunts team or whatever, the effects people.
Yes, I mean, stunts and effects sort of had so much fun because they got to play with a helicopter. I wonder if they actually let Ryan play on the helicopter, or how much of that was just effects and stunts, or whether they actually did get a helicopter in place and let him get lowered down from it. That'd be cool. And then they got to blow shit up.
Blowing shit up's always fun.
It is.
I think the man he survives. They pull him out of the excavator and to the ambulance, so hopefully he made it.
I mean, I think it was just the gas that ignited and the gazebo, and because the 118 were already there, they could probably get the hoses onto it pretty quickly. Hopefully Jamal turned the gas off for them too. What do you mean? There's no gas outage in that area. I'm never going to let him live. I'm never going to let him live that down.
No, it's a good bit. Back at the station house, Eddie and Buck are cleaning the truck. It already looks pretty clean, but Buck's giving it a polish anyway.
It's probably just busy work. Gives them something to do.
Yeah. Eddie notices that everyone's working alone, no one's teaming up. I don't know, maybe that's just the calls they've been to. Everyone's been working solo. And he says 2 brains are better than 1. What if we worked on it together and split the 5 million 50-50? And Buck looks so disappointed. He's like, sorry. I already made a deal with Taylor. And Eddie's like,
I know. Eddie pouts and Buck just melts. He's just like, oh, okay.
No. Well, how about
It's
33 and a
absolutely
third?
that parents, like, oh my god, it's going to be easier just to agree with you than fight with you about this. Fine.
Yeah.
I'm giving in. Put the bottom lip away, please. So while Buck is okay with 33 and a third, Taylor is not okay with 33 and a third. She has agreed with 50-50 with Buck, and if Buck wants to bring Eddie in, he needs to split his portion of the prize money with Eddie. They're not touching hers. Mostly because she's already struck up a deal with her cameraman.
Yeah, so they're actually now splitting it 4 ways.
Yes.
But yeah, splitting it 4 ways that's still more than $1 million each. But as Taylor says, 25% of nothing is still nothing.
Yes, because they don't know where the treasure is.
But they're having a good go at guessing because they do have a map with like pins stuck all over it. So Eddie reckons that the willow tree thing could be there's something called an arroyo willow, and the others are like, it's not a tree, more like a shrub. So it's obviously they've also done the research.
Yeah, like Taylor and Buck are
They've
like
been over
deep
that.
in it, and
Yeah.
Eddie's literally just goes, "I'll just be over here then, thinking by myself." No team.
I'll be in my room making no noise and pretending I don't exist.
Yes.
But yeah, interestingly, the framing here as well has like Buck and Taylor working together and Eddie right in between them.
Yeah, but he's pouting over in the corner.
He is pouting over in the corner.
So much pouting in this episode.
He's
So
drinking
much.
beer too. He's like muttering to himself, like,
Yeah.
go team, and drinking beer.
But
Very funny.
they've decided, or Taylor has decided, that they need some more data to rule out some of their options. And Buck has an idea. So the next day, we return to the 118, where it looks like Buck and Eddie are getting ready to start their shift, and Ravi is coming off the B shift. He's getting ready to leave. And Buck and Eddie do, like, it's not like Buck being surprised at his surprise party level of bad acting, but it's still, it's very like, oh, wow, I wonder how many dumb treasure hunt calls we're going to get today.
Wink.
Ravi, bless him, is probably so tired from being on for 24 hours he just does not pick up what these two are putting down. And he's
I think Ravi's just excited that Buck's not yelling at him today.
he's probably so excited that they are talking to him. Like, because this is the A team. These are like the heroes of the 118. Like, oh my god, they're the celebrities. They're talking to me. And he cannot wait to tell them about all of the amazing calls that the B shift went on, while Buck is mentally taking notes of all of the things that Ravi is telling him.
It's to the point where I'm honestly, like, I was surprised that Buck didn't just get, like, a little, like, notepad out of his pocket and, like, lick his finger and flick it through and start writing down, like...
My
Kind of energy.
My headcanon is that his phone is set to record.
Oh, maybe.
So he's recording everything
Yeah.
Ravi said for Taylor to go through later.
Yes, but then we do cut to silence though, and outside of the glass fish tank that is the changing room, the locker room, Chim and Hen are standing there watching them, and they're like squinting at them and like, you feel that, Hen? And we've been left out in the cold. So they decide that they're going to join in now.
Yes, so it's going to be Hen and Chim versus Buck and Eddie.
I don't know how they know, just from talking to Ravi.
The same way that Chim knows from 50 feet up that a man is severely dehydrated.
Maybe they're just really good at lip reading or something.
Maybe. They've just got a sixth sense.
Or that they just can see that Buck and Eddie are doing their really bad acting, and they're like, they're up
Like,
to something.
Why else would they be talking to the probie? Like, there's no reason
why
to
else
be
would they
talking
talk
to the
to Ravi?
probie.
Maybe they had the same idea.
Yeah.
But Buck and Eddie got there first.
Back at the dispatch centre, we are crossing the Griffith Observatory off the list, which Josh thinks is hilarious. Apparently that was Linda's guess, because Hollis's fifth book, Stabbed Beneath the Stars, took place at the Griffith Park Observatory. Meanwhile, Maddie is continuing to work while everyone else is having fun. And she takes a call from a man who is saying that there are ants everywhere. And so the 118 are dispatched to a park where there is a man rolling around in the dirt covered in quote-unquote ants, which I am guessing is CGI since we have learned that insects do not show up on screen or on camera.
Mm-hmm. Apparently this guy has stepped into a whole colony of fire ants.
Yes.
And yes, they are infesting southeast Queensland, and it's a whole thing. They're doing like it's been going on for years and years, actually. They've been gradually spreading, and they're really dangerous. And they've been spraying, like the government's been doing some spraying, and it's affecting the other insect populations, like bees are really at risk from this spraying business. And I mean, we don't want fire ants, but we also
kind of want
need
bees.
Other insects. Yeah. So yeah, it's a bit controversial, and I don't know the full details of it, so I won't go into it. But yeah, we have them. Like apparently, if they bite you, I don't know if this reaction is like extremely realistic, but they do hurt like hell. And if you have more than a few bites, then you do need to go and get, checked out at least in an emergency kind of thing. But apparently the bite and the pain can last for hours to days kind of thing.
Yeah, because apparently, more fun facts for our listeners. Ant bites, the ants will bite you and then just spray an acid onto the wound. But
nice.
Fire ants will actually bite you and then release venom into the wound. Mm-hmm. And the particular venom is an alkaloid venom which causes an extreme burning sensation under the skin, which is why they're called fire ants. So yes, I can imagine that if you're getting mass doses of venom injected into your skin and getting into your bloodstream, it would be incredibly, incredibly dangerous.
Yeah, the funny thing that with this scene is that they blow the ants off this guy with the fire hose.
And then they leave him there?
And then they just leave him lying on the ground and treat him right there. They're all just kneeling in the middle of the ant nest.
Yes, I would have thought, isn't the first thing of responding to an emergency is that, assess the danger and then you get the person away from said danger?
Remove the patient from the danger,
Wouldn't you get him, wash the ants off him as much as you can and then get him out of the ant colony? Because, yes, they get the ants off him, but, Chim and Hen are kneeling down amidst the colony. Surely there are other ants coming up through the incredibly inaccurate anthill colonies.
No, they've just vanished at this point. It's fine.
The thing with ants is that if they're under threat, they will all come out and start attacking.
So you've got Buck standing 3 feet away, slapping himself, psychosomatically feeling that he's got ants on himself, yet Chim and Hen are kneeling amidst the ant colony and they're fine.
Anyway, for the drama.
They treat this guy.
Yes.
He's got these bite, they look like almost like pustules, these bites all over him. His eyes all swollen up and ugh.
But he's breathing, so he's not having an a major anaphylaxis reaction. They push him full of drugs, including morphine for the pain, because I can imagine that would be excruciating. And they get him into the ambulance. And as they're doing so, Eddie ponders why he chose to dig in that spot particularly. Chim very cheerfully says to Eddie, well, I guess you never know, slams the doors shut. But then Hen goes, yeah, why did you think to dig out here?
And the guy just eyes them with his one good eye. And they've given him morphine for the pain. So they've given him morphine for the pain. So he's high as a kite. He doesn't give a shit about the treasure anymore. It's
completely random, completely useless scene at LAPD, which shows that a lot of people are being arrested for crimes, some which are related to the treasure hunt, some which might not be. But we don't actually get kind of any new information out of this scene.
Yeah, there's this woman who tried to steal a chest because it looked like the one on the video.
Yeah.
It looked just like the one on the video because the markings are very distinctive. But she was also arrested 3 days ago because she stole one that also looked just like it. She's like, yeah, maybe not that distinctive.
But
anyway.
The fun scene is when Athena gets home after work. Because she gets home and I don't think Bobby was expecting her home quite so soon. Because she walks in and he's off camera somewhere and he's like, hey, I just finished making some breakfast. And Athena is completely oblivious that anything is wrong. And she's like talking to him about, did you have as crazy a shift as I did? He's like, yeah, super crazy.
So crazy, you guys.
And she walks into the kitchen area to see Bobby yeet something out the back door and then slam it behind him super suspiciously.
No, he's always out in the random alleyway behind the house. It's fine.
And then immediately tries to distract Athena with French toast. Do you want some French toast? I'm going to make you some French toast. And Athena's like,
she just gives him the biggest side eye.
And she lets him go into the kitchen and start getting coffee cups out. And then immediately makes a beeline for the door that he's just shut. And Bobby's like, no, coffee, eggs, anything, please don't open the door. Except she opens the door. And there's one of those, like, it's not full-on serial killer red string mind map kind of things.
Yet.
But it's getting there.
Yeah, there's a map and some pins.
On a whiteboard. He's got a freestanding whiteboard.
Yeah. It's a full freestanding whiteboard. Like, not even a little, it's it's a proper whiteboard.
Like, it's Bobby height. And Peter Krauser is not a short man. So it's massive. And Athena's reaction is just like, oh God, not you too.
And I'm like, how did you not see this coming, Athena? You know what he's like. You saw him with Michael.
Yeah, literally, right?
I'm surprised Michael isn't there with him.
If they could have got the actor in, I'm sure they would have.
Yeah.
But bless her, she allows Bobby to bring the board back into the house and she sits down and willingly listens to him explain to her all of his theories about where the treasure is. And he gets very excited.
It's fully broken down. So he's got like the woods and parks around LA where they find where you find creeks or rivers. The red pins are willow trees. The white pins are herons. The green are bullfrogs. But he's not quite sure what Grey Bridge Road means yet.
Athena's just looking at him like he's crazy.
Yeah, he's like, this is very thorough.
He tells her that he thinks he's making some headway and he thinks that the treasure is in Solstice Canyon. And Athena bursts his bubble by telling him that they arrested someone there that morning and there is no treasure. And he's so disappointed. He's like, I really thought I was onto something there.
Guess I'm going to have to recalibrate.
And I love this exchange because Athena says,
oh, it's the best.
Where did this come from? And Bobby's like, the whiteboard? I picked it up from the store on the way home. No, honey. No. Not the board. The treasure hunting stuff.
Yeah, the sudden desire to go hunting for hidden treasure.
Bobby's like, I don't know, I just saw other people doing for it. I got FOMO and, it's $5 million. What's the harm? It's no different from playing a lottery ticket. Athena's like, nobody ended up in the ICU buying a lottery ticket. And I'm pretty sure there's an episode in season 2 that would beg to differ, Athena.
Yeah.
Season 3? Season 2. I don't care enough to look it up, but we've seen that it's just as dangerous.
It's careful what you wish for,
yes.
Which is...
Is that the end of season 2? Because I feel like it had something to do with Shannon.
Yeah, it's the end of season 2.
Yeah.
Yes, it's literally the episode where Shannon dies.
Yes. Not from buying a lottery
Like
ticket.
Bobby even says there
No.
was that one incident. There was that one incident where the two people...
Yes.
Okay, doesn't matter.
Forget about it.
Athena wants to know what would we do with the money if you found it. And he was going to surprise her with trust funds for the kids, a new kitchen. We could take that honeymoon we never had. Or we could even decide to retire.
Athena's actually shocked by this. She's like, I thought you loved your job.
Bobby's realistic. He's like, the jobs like ours, nobody does them forever. Eventually, you have to hang it up and go fishing. And Athena's like, not me. You go fishing, that's fine. I'm going to be on their streets until they force me off them. And Bobby's like, honey, somebody nearly did last year. So you can't tell me that you didn't think about quitting or retiring after the incident with Drone Dude, the real estate rapist.
Oh, yeah, that guy.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, she's adamant she doesn't want to retire.
Yeah, like she did think about it, and Elaine did bring it up and wanted her to seriously consider it, so she did, but she decided not to, which she never told Bobby. Because she didn't see the point. The decision was already made, and so what was there to say?
Yeah, she kind of just brushes it off.
Yeah,
Yeah, she wants the French toast. She was promised French toast. And Bobby's French toast, I can only imagine, is amazing, so...
Yeah. Meanwhile, Bobby is left with the realization that he might be married to Athena, but he is apparently not important enough to her to be factored into major life decisions that she's making.
Oh. Well, she seemed pretty set on not wanting to retire, so maybe she just didn't want to share that.
No, but I'm pretty sure I remember them having conversations in that episode. Or at least Bobby was talking to her about it. And now he's realizing that Athena never talked back. It's a very, very heavy emotional moment in what is otherwise a very lighthearted episode.
They need to throw some drama in there.
True. Very true.
And now we go to the most annoying characters in the episode.
This whole scene is so silly. I mean, up until we get to the rescue part, which is a lot funnier than the beginning of the scene. So Keisha and her boyfriend roll up to this River's Edge B&B place.
Does the boyfriend actually get a name at any point?
Not named. He's Babe, the entire thing.
Excellent. Cool.
Babe.
I
They
think
call each
all of
other
the
babe.
characters
He's
get
just
Hey,
named.
babe. Yeah, babe.
They all get named in the transcript, but Keisha is the only one who actually gets named.
Yeah, interesting.
So yes, River's Edge B&B. Specifically, Keisha is after the Willow Tree Suite, which sounds very specific.
Very treasure huntery.
Very treasure huntery, which is not wrong because while Keisha is getting the key and talking to the owner of the B&B, her boyfriend is unloading digging tools from the back of the car. And what's really sad is that the owner apparently has been living under a rock and has no idea about this whole treasure hunt business and just thinks that Keisha is there for a romantic night away. And both as an attempt to sort of keep the owner occupied while said boyfriend gets tools out of trunk, she tells him that yes, she's staying there with her boyfriend, but she thinks that this could be the weekend, like the weekend.
The weekend.
You know? And the owner says, love it, I'll send champagne up to the room for you to set the mood.
So they go and the Babe, the guy's boyfriend, why are you going over there? Willow Tree Suite's this way. And the man says, trust me, I got a nose for this kind of thing. And that's kind of hilarious.
Oh my
Given
god,
what he's
I
about
just
to dig
noticed
up.
that. So his nose literally leads him to shit.
Yep.
Yeah. Yes. So they start digging and the lady's like, oh, you know I love our adventures, but maybe if we find the 5 million, maybe we could call it quits on the schemes. But he's like, no, this is the spot. Like, this is where we're digging. The owner runs out and he's like, hey, get away from there. And the man gives Keisha the shovel and tells her to keep digging so he can go and hold the guy off. And so she starts digging, but then, which I don't even think she starts digging, she just stands there.
Yeah, she just stands there looking at the shovel.
She starts hearing this like crunching kind of noise, and all of a sudden she just disappears into the ground. First she looks up and goes, "Baby," like calling out to the guy.
I love this actress has the most adorable facial expressions.
She does.
Because she looks up and she just looks so confused and so worried before the little babe, and then just the ground drops out from beneath her feet and she plummets out of sight. And
then her boyfriend, well, they rush over and then he's like, "Oh, what is that smell?" So then we discover the 118 arrive, and I like how you've labelled him here as exposition captain. He lets us know about it.
Because, like, in all honesty, Bobby should have been telling the members of the 118 this on the drive up. There is no reason to drive them all the way up to the B&B for them to get out, and then he starts telling them, "Oh, it's a septic tank.
Wow, what a shock, it's a septic tank."
The woman's been down there for 7 minutes. A tank like that is likely full of methane. We're going to need some air. Like, they would, number one, they would know that. Number two, you would have told them that on the drive. The only reason you're telling them that now is so that we, the audience, understand what is going on. So yes, exposition captain.
Yeah.
So, unfortunately for Buck, somebody is going to need to harness up and get lowered down into the tank to get Keisha, and Chimney did tell him that he would get the next one.
Yep.
So,
it's his turn.
It's his turn.
Poor Buck.
And Buck's like,
not allowed in a helicopter, but hey, he can go in a septic tank.
Yeah, he's going to get lowered down into a tank full of shit. Which he does. But before he's like even halfway down, Keisha collapses from the smell, lack of oxygen. Hen did say that she looked like she was suffering severe hypoxia. So Chim must have touched her and passed on the magical, like, diagnosing at a distance. Yeah. So Buck screams to everyone to get him down there. So Eddie just, like, yanks the brake off the rope, and Buck just
Eddie basically just pushes him in.
Just drops him at full speed. Thankfully it doesn't look like the tank is that deep, because rather than like dropping Buck straight into the water, it looks like he lands on his feet and the water's sort of only up to his waist level, because Oliver Stark is all leg.
Yeah.
So he just reaches down and fishes Keisha out, and then they pull him back up. It's rather anticlimactic when you look at it like that.
It is a bit, yeah. But this part isn't important anyway.
They just fish her out, yeah.
It just fishes her out, puts her oxygen mask back on her, gets her back up to the surface.
But the B&B owner has now chosen the moment to quiz the guy about what were you doing out here? And the man's like, digging up the treasure. And of course it's here because the willow tree's feet, like at the river's edge. It is here, right?
And like I said,
otherwise she's going to kill me.
the owner of the B&B has been living under a rock. He has no idea what is going on. No idea what he's talking about.
What treasure? He obviously hasn't got a TV or like...
Yeah.
Look,
he doesn't know who Taylor Kelly is.
He doesn't watch Channel 8. He watches one of the other channels.
Nah.
So they get Keisha into the ambulance. Her boyfriend gets in with her. Chim and Hen are in there as well. They're fully like gowned up, masked up, gloved up. Keisha looks very dry for being someone who just got dunked into sewage.
Yeah.
And her boyfriend apologizes to Keisha for not being able to find the money. And Keisha said, "It's fine. We don't need the money. I just need you. So whatever you're waiting for, you don't have to wait anymore. My answer is yes." And Chim and Hen at this point think that they're witnessing some sort of romantic opportunity.
They're like, "Aw," and then he's like, yes, what?"
And the man's like, what are you saying yes to? And she's like, yes, I will marry you. And Shumahan are like, oh, they're proposing, they're getting married. And the guy goes, babe, I thought you knew that I am married. And everybody in the ambulance is like, what? So he and Keisha have been, going on adventures together, but Keisha is his adventure. Just his adventure on the side.
And she just boots him out.
Yeah, the ambulance hasn't even left the scene because Buck and Eddie are still like getting. Buck is still stripping out of the jumpsuit they had him in. I don't know what Eddie's doing, but the ambulance is not left yet. When this guy gets kicked out and the ambulance drives away
Eddie's
without
watching
him.
Buck strip, obviously.
Well, yes, that too. And
until it starts to smell bad.
Yeah. Yeah, so the guy sort of looks at everyone and says, she just wanted some space. And I guess it's a good thing that his car is still at the B&B, so he's got his own way back into town. Mm-hmm. And yes, poor Buck is stripping out of his sewage-covered coverall, and Bobby and Eddie are making fun of him and how bad he smells.
Poor Buck.
Poor Buck. So here's where things take a little bit of a turn. Because Athena is called to Hollis Harcourt's estate, like his actual house, which is like a massive mansion with a gate and one of those circular driveway things. It's very fancy. His books must do well. Because the alarm company is called LAPD because the security alarm has been triggered. And as she gets there, there is a man waiting in the driveway for her that we recognise as Jeremiah, Mr. Harcourt's personal assistant. And the security company also called him.
The door was open when he got there, but he figured it was probably some treasure hunters. So Athena tells him to stay outside, and she sneaks in with her gun. She follows sounds that she can hear all the way to Hollis's office, and there's someone behind the desk, hiding behind the desk. She tells them to get up slowly, hands in the air, and it turns out that it is the dead guy. But he's not dead.
He's
definitely
Hollis
not dead.
Harcourt. Yeah. Looking mighty good for a dead man, she says.
Although I don't think he's going to be alive for long, because Jeremiah takes one look at him and says, "You're alive? I'm going to kill you."
Probably don't say that in front of a cop, but
But yeah, we do find out just then that Jeremiah apparently was left out of his will. Athena's sort of like, we need to have a conversation about your unexpected return to the land of the living. But yeah, they have a little back and forth about this, but, for like faking your own death apparently is a crime.
It is a crime.
He says, you would be right to arrest me if I had done even one of those things, but I didn't. I simply had my lawyer release a statement. And voila.
Yes.
And so it turns out that they have more of a conversation about this, but it turns out that he was trying to write his next big book, but he didn't know what the ending was. So he decided to do this treasure hunt thing to find out how the city would react to a treasure hunt. And that would help him finish his book,
because
apparently.
He has blown the last 3 deadlines, and people, mainly probably his publishing company, are asking some very uncomfortable questions and saying a lot of ugly words like refund of the advance he was probably given for said Gutted in Glendale. So he is...
Endings are hard.
Endings are very hard. I do agree with him, especially if
I see where he's coming from.
Yeah. So he, in that vein, he's hoping that Athena could keep this whole, like, not really dead thing just between them. But Athena's like, the call came in over the radio. I'm pretty sure Taylor was listening to that on her scanner. She's going to be here any minute. And I'm going to, if I get asked by any journalists what happens, I'm going to tell them the truth. That you told everybody you were dead, but you were actually alive.
Yeah.
And that news is absolutely gutting to the 118. They are all very, very upset with the news that there was actually no treasure. And they were
The
all...
poor 118.
They were his research subjects. Like little lab rats running around in Hollis's treasure hunt simulation.
I think because when I was watching all these episodes in a row, because I binged the last 5 episodes in a row of this season, and by the time I got up to this one, I was slightly inebriated. And when we got up to this part of it, I thought this was the end of the episode, and I'm like, oh, so there was no treasure. Okay, whatever. And then as it keeps going, I was like, oh, wait a minute. What's happening? There's more.
Yeah, I think
suddenly the treasure is there again. What's happening?
Yeah, when I was binging it, I definitely didn't enjoy this episode. I was like, oh, this is I see what they're trying to do, but it just didn't really... Whereas, because I knew that it was a fake out the second time, and because obviously we're watching it week by week now, and I just watched this as a standalone, it's actually really fun as a standalone.
Yeah, it makes a lot more sense when you... the second, like you said, when you know what's actually happening.
Yeah.
The structure of it makes more sense. But when I was watching it the first time, I was like, okay, so there was no treasure. All right. And then they go back to looking for it. And I'm like, well, didn't we just decide that there was no treasure? Like, what?
Yeah, which
What's
is why
here?
one of my main complaints is that this is a fun episode, but structurally it's a terrible episode.
Oh, structurally it's awful.
Well, we can talk
but
about
yeah.
that at the end of the episode once we get through it.
Yeah.
But... yeah, so the 118 are really sad. Every emergency on the news was a new chapter for his book. Eddie says that if they were all his research, then they should all get paid. Because he still wants the treasure. And Bobby's like, there may not even be a treasure. Hollis never had to actually plant one to get what he wanted. He just needed to say that he did.
So there's the red herring. You've got Bobby, sort of, his theory is that there is no treasure. That it was just what Hollis said. So now they've agreed that regardless of whether there's a treasure or not, it's time to give up. No more treasure hunt.
Yeah.
So Buck
That was so sad.
Buck decides to drown his sorrows in some tequila with Taylor. And I don't particularly like Buck in the rest of this episode.
You don't?
No, I'm not. I'm just going to flag now that I don't particularly like Buck or Buck's storyline in the rest of this episode, but I'll talk about it towards the end a little bit more.
Okay.
Anyway, yeah, Taylor feels like an idiot.
Yes.
She's very sad that there's no treasure. Because obviously, she was reporting on it as well, so...
yeah, she feels like she was a trained journalist, she should have known better than to fall for Hollis's little ploy. And through this whole conversation, Taylor is wrapped up in thoughts of betrayal and self-flagellation, and her brain is still kind of ticking over on the treasure hunt. Meanwhile, Buck is getting closer, physically closer and closer to Taylor.
Yeah, they're having two different conversations here.
He's
massively,
he's
yeah.
flirting with her. He's leaning in and, doing moves as best Buck can do, which is not the best. And Taylor is either studiously ignoring him or completely oblivious to his moves.
Yeah, she does feel a bit oblivious. Unless she's just fucking with him, which...
wouldn't put it
maybe.
past her. But in the moment, it feels more like she's so focused on... because while Buck is, doing his moves, she's staring at the pushpin map on the table. And her mind is still sort of ticking over. Back at the Athena residence, Bobby is also looking at his map, but he's taking all of his pushpins down and packing up his giant board.
Poor Bobby.
Aw, he looks so defeated.
Does. And Athena kind of throws him a bone and says, we can rent a cabin now and then for fishing, for vacation. And Bobby's like, yeah, I guess so. And then
she asks if he even knows how to fish. And he's like, I'm from Minnesota. She's like, so that's a yes?
Ma'am. He plays hockey, he ice skates, he knows how to fish. That's pretty much all there is to do out of Minnesota, right?
God, I forgot about the ice hockey, the figure skating.
The figure skating.
How could you forget about the figure skating?
So funny. No, I don't know. How did I forget about the figure skating? Okay.
Anyway, now that the treasure hunt is over, now Athena takes an interest in it. So while Bobby is packing up his board, she sits down and she reads the poem that was the clues for the treasure. And she has an idea of where the treasure is.
Yeah, apparently Bobby was missing one of the books because Hollis had an unpublished book which was called Gutted in Glendale. I don't know how Athena knows about it.
Because that was the name of the book that triggered, that he was using the treasure hunt for. So Gutted in Glendale was the book that he was writing that he didn't know the ending for. So he used the treasure hunt to figure out what everybody was going to do and inspire his
Athena
ending.
has the missing piece.
So she knows that, like, everyone's
puzzle.
talking about, like, the murder in the observatory. So they thought it was at the observatory because he had a book that was set in the observatory. And now she's going, oh, there is a book that was going to be set in Glendale. Maybe the treasure has something to do with Glendale. And so when we come back from commercial, she and Bobby are at the Glendale Narrows, which is a part of a river that goes through Glendale. Except it doesn't look like much of a river because it's more like a little rivulet. It's heavily concreted. It's going under a bridge. It's not very...
I love the fact that Bobby even says, Bobby's like, this is a concrete channel with water in it, and I keep telling everyone this is not a river.
Well,
if there used to be a lot of rivers going through LA and they all got concreted over, so this is one of them. It's still, like, the bits they look like they show does look like a bit of a river. It's got, like, islands in the middle of it and stuff.
Yes.
So
Athena is, like, chastising him, saying, you know, all you adventurers thought you had to trek up to the mountains. None of you thought to look right here in the middle of the city. And the Glendale Narrows are home to herons and bullfrogs, and the noise of the traffic going over the bridge, which is like concrete grey, could be described as a roar.
Mm-hmm.
She says that's a bit on the nose for a metaphor. And Bobby says, well, Hollis wasn't really a poet or, you know, very trustworthy. And Hen, from somewhere behind them, says, well, he wasn't the only one. And it turns out that everyone has finally connected the dots. They haven't connected shit, but they've connected the dots, and they've all descended on the same spot of the Glendale Narrows.
But they've all connected separate dots. Like, none of them have come to the same conclusion. Yeah. I mean, they've come to the same conclusion, but from completely different angles.
Yes. So Hen and Chim show up. Buck and Eddie show up. Taylor is also there in spirit because she's up in a helicopter circling the area. And Chim and...
she's willing to get back in a helicopter again?
Well, she's got like the entirety of the 118 underneath her, so if anything happens... and like Chim and Hen have got their medical kits, and Eddie's got their gear. So they're all set for a rescue should anything happen. But they're all absolutely scandalized to see that everybody else is there because they all thought that they'd given up on the treasure hunt. But they do kind of exchange notes, like, why are you guys here? What tipped you off?
Yep, so, like, Athena and Bobby obviously was, because the book was gutted in Glendale, and the part in the poem about the narrow place, Glendale Narrows, Buck said it was the river for them because Taylor said that Hollis used to jog there. Meanwhile, Chim and Hen says that her wife wrote an algorithm that detects changes in satellite images. And I have no idea how that led them to this, but whatever.
Let's just go with it. It doesn't actually matter in the long run.
Yeah.
It's totally a thing that you can do. But satellite imagery is not that high resolution.
And what was she looking for? Like, it'd pick up traffic constantly because cars moving all the time at different times of the day, and like, are they trying to find the one little hole that was dug?
Yeah,
Like, I have no idea what the algorithm was looking for, but whatever. Karen's a rocket scientist. We're very proud of her.
Yes.
Yeah. For the drama, they found it through a satellite image.
Yep.
Good on them. So now there's 6 of us and 1 treasure. And Athena's like, Bobby and I pulled up first. And they're all like, whoa.
Hen's like, only because you elected to keep the name of Hollis's unpublished novel to yourself. And Athena's like, well, I didn't know it was important, and this is the first time any of us are hearing about an algorithm.
Bobby reckons they can split 5 million 5 ways, and Eddie's like, no, it'll be 7 because we have an existing deal with Taylor and her cameraman. And Chim's like, the cameraman with no name gets a cut? I'm like,
yeah, I love that.
They never named this cameraman.
They do.
He's always in the background.
We're always laughing about unnamed characters, and Chim's just like, hey.
But he does have a name. It's Brett. We met him in Dosed.
Yes. Maybe it's a different cameraman.
I know Chim was a little bit distracted because, everybody else had eaten their gardening brownies. But we know his name.
But yeah, Hen says that she doesn't think that anyone who isn't physically here should get a cut, and that's where you hear the helicopter whirring ahead. And Buck's like, yeah, she's here. Yeah,
she actually is here. So Bobby's like, you know what, fine, we'll split it 7 ways. I don't know what that is, but that'll be enough. And Buck's pulled out his phone and immediately done the math. But he doesn't, it's, for those of you playing along at home, it's $714,285 and 71.4 cents. He doesn't know what to do with the point.
Buck's like, I don't know what to do with the 0.4 cents. And Bobby's like, you can keep ours.
So now they've all come to agreement. They all head off to finding the willow trees and the marker, like H marks the spot. Unfortunately for them, they are too late. Somebody has beat them.
Oh, maybe
to
that's what the algorithm was looking for. Maybe it was looking for the H.
The willow trees and the H, maybe.
But if the H, anyway, it doesn't matter.
Anyway,
I don't care. Someone is already there beating them to it, though.
And it's Proby.
It's Robbie. He found it.
He did find it.
And then, Eddie just goes, what's 5 million divided by 8? And Buck goes, I'm not doing any more math.
So you typed numbers into a calculator. Like, how?
Yeah, and it's too hard. Look, as someone with dyscalculia, I also don't. Math is hard.
So they decide that since Ravi was the one who found the trunk first, he gets the honours of opening the trunk. And we get the classic Pulp Fiction opening of the trunk and everybody looking. We get the camera sort of in the trunk looking out. Mm-hmm. Nobody kind of seems excited or amazed or awed. In fact, they all look rather shocked and disappointed. Because when the camera cuts back, we find that the trunk is empty.
I think this is the first time we actually get Ravi's name.
I think you are correct.
Oh.
Yeah, Bobby actually calls him Ravi.
Because he's been Proby.
Whereas, yeah, he was Proby. Like, this is only his 2nd episode too. So, like, when I was first watching the show, I was like, oh, it's just like some random Proby and Jinx, right? And then all of a sudden he turns up and like he's got the treasure and he's part of the gang kind of. And I'm like, who is this guy? I don't care. Whereas now that like I know a bit more about Ravi and like he's still in the show, spoilers, I'm like, oh my god, it's like baby Ravi. Like it's exciting. Whereas the first time I was just like, I don't understand why this guy's such a big part of this episode.
Anyway, the chest is empty.
Yeah, chest is empty.
They all just decide that all of them are going to go and have a word with Mr. Harcourt about this. So they do all rock up to the mansion. And Athena says, this is so for the drama, extremely dramatic. I'm going to go in and check it out. You'll wait here. And, they don't want to stay outside and let her go in alone. And she's like, do any of you have a badge and a gun? And like holds up a gun. I didn't think so. She doesn't even look at any of them. She just is looking at the house. And so she creeps in and to check it out. And she finds there's like glass all over the floor. And someone's lying on the ground and it's Hollis and he's dead.
Yes.
Yeah, he's actually dead this time.
He's like really dead this time.
Proper dead.
And while Athena is giving like her quip Like, oh, I guess he found his ending. You hear Ravi over her shoulder go, oh my god, is he dead? And she whips around and everybody has followed her into the house and appearing around the corner at the dead guy. And
she's like, didn't I say to wait outside? Why do you people never listen? And Hen's like, so that we could be your alibi?
Because at that moment
there's sirens.
Yeah. And then I do like this bit. So Taylor has descended upon the scene. She's reporting about the fact that Hollis has been found dead again. The coroner has been called to remove Hollis's body from the scene. The other police have been called, and Romero is having a grand old time because he's got them all the 118 lined up in a row and is sort of walking up and down as he's interrogating them.
So you all found an empty treasure chest, drove down here like an angry mob to confront him, and now he's dead. But these facts are unrelated to each other.
Athena's trying to placate him. She's like, Rick, he was dead when he got here. And Eddie contributed.
I'm surprised they told him that they found the empty chest. Well, they could have kept that information
giving the
to
facts,
themselves.
yeah.
Yeah.
Romero would have asked, what the fuck are you all doing here? Like, all of you. And they've gone, well, we found the chest and it was empty, so we came down here to confront him, and then we found him, he's dead. Eddie says that they didn't kill him, and Buck pipes up and says, we just wanted to.
We just wanted to.
And Bobby's immediately like, Buck! And then Romero, looking up and down the line, zeroes in on Ravi, and he goes, you're new. Ravi's like, yeah, I barely know them. I'm not with them. I'm just... And we get the classic shot from this season, which is the rest of the 118 turning to look at Ravi, and then everyone sort of tilting their heads, leaning forward slightly, so they're all in a row giving Ravi like bombastic side eye for like disowning him.
Oh, that's great. Like, poor Ravi's not even he's not on their shift.
No, he's on the B shift.
He's literally met them like 3 times. The first time he met Buck yelled at him and had him drop all his paperwork. Poor Ravi.
To be fair, Buck didn't intend to scare him.
Yeah, yelling, "Hey, Proby!" doesn't scare anyone.
But he wasn't angry. He was just loud, and Ravi was like brand new and intimidated by Buck.
But yes, the first time I watched this episode, like, I was very much like, Eddie's face. Like, what the fuck? Like, who is this guy? And now I'm just like, yeah, Ravi, you don't know them. Just distance yourself from them. My poor little baby.
He's like looking at Bobby going, I know you're the captain of the 118, but can I call my captain? Because, please?
I know you're the captain, but I've never met you in my life.
Can I get the captain of the B shift here, please?
Yeah.
Thankfully for Ravi, Detective Stafford appears. She's managed to download the footage from Hollis's security system, and that has confirmed that it wasn't them. So Romero decides that he's going to watch the footage then and there on the iPad that Stafford gives him, and the rest of them sort of crowd around behind.
So they can all watch it.
Yeah, they all crowd around behind him so they can watch along too.
I do love that that like when they're like it wasn't them, Romero's just like, I didn't actually think it was. I was just doing my job.
Yep.
And hands Athena back her gun. And it's like, yeah, like he even admits he was enjoying the moment a little bit. Because like he got to line up these idiots that he's like,
he's
had
to deal with them for so many years.
Yeah.
I would probably have enjoyed that moment too.
Yeah, exactly. So yeah, shout out to him for admitting it.
But yes, it was not them. The security footage shows that a zip parcel delivery driver had entered the premises right before Hollis died, except she didn't get out of a zip delivery truck, and Chim's ability to diagnose at a distance, which he passed on to Hen, now also applies to watching footage of someone recorded through a security system. Because Hen immediately looks at this person and goes, are they pregnant?
I mean, they do look very pregnant, to be fair. Chim's just shocked that there's a delivery driver this time of night. Amazon's really picking up their deliveries since COVID.
Athena recognises her from the brief period that she was on the TV stealing Taylor's microphone.
I mean, we know that Athena watches Taylor's broadcast, so that's...
We do now.
No, we did last time, because Taylor, when in Josh Begins, she got like a crucial piece of evidence that connected all the cases from watching Taylor.
Yeah, that's right.
Taylor is very, very useful when it comes to like connecting the dots in all of these cases.
She's a very good journalist.
She's very good.
Except when it comes to treasure, that like a guy that may or may not be dead.
Yeah. So Romero somehow finds who this woman is and drags her down to an interrogation room.
Well, they knew who her husband was because her husband almost died, so...
Well, I'm going to say, like, they had her on camera. They knew that her husband was a Zip driver, so it wouldn't have been hard to find her in the end.
Very, very quick dots connected there.
Yes. Mm-hmm. And so Romero is interrogating her, telling her that, your husband had almost died going on this treasure hunt. You knew that Hollis had to be stopped, so you took matters into your own hands. And the woman says that she didn't kill him. He was a horrible person, but she didn't kill him. And then we get a flashback and we find out what really happened, which, I mean, it's not the nicest, but she's right, she didn't kill him. She confronted Hollis, and he brushed her off.
She started smashing up his things, which is why there's...
Yes, because he tried to force her out the door, and she pushed him off, telling him not to touch her, which completely valid. He knocks into some kind of decorative table in the middle of the foyer area, which knocks over a crystal vase, which immediately shatters into a million pieces. And seeing his over-the-top reaction, like he didn't seem to care that somebody had died, or somebody had almost died on this treasure hunt, but he was absolutely horrified that one of his vases had been destroyed. The woman decides to start smashing up everything that she can get her hands on. And this triggers... Apparently Hollis had a heart condition, a pre-existing heart condition, and the stress of seeing his beautiful vases and decorative jars being destroyed triggers a major cardiac arrest. And he keels over.
Yeah, he's not before he gets on the phone to try and... I think he calls 911 to try and get the police there, I think. But before it connects, he basically falls to the ground.
Yes.
And so he's got the phone in his hand with 911, and she picks it up, but then she looks at him like lying on the floor, half dead, and just decides not to say anything.
Yes.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure that's a crime.
Which Romero does bring up to Athena, and she's like, yes, but no DA is going to want to pursue this.
Yeah.
Because it's going to look bad bringing a pregnant woman whose husband got injured because of Hollis's recklessness, and she confronted him. He was continued to, berate her, and so she just failed to give aid. Everyone is going to be sympathetic against her. Yeah. It's not going to be a successful case, and even if it is a successful case, the public perception is going to be against them.
Yeah.
But we're not done yet.
No, it's exposition breakfast time.
And not just exposition breakfast time to explain the two mysteries that, we've already had, which was, where is the treasure buried, and now, a last minute, who actually killed Hollis. We're going to bring in a third mystery, which was what happened to the treasure. And we're going to bring that up over breakfast, which looks like it's family breakfast at the Athena residence, and Taylor has been invited.
It's a very big family breakfast. And Buck's like, well, what do you think happened to the money? And everyone else is like, Buck, there was no money. He was yanking everyone's chain, the whole city and all of us. So then Hen says, why would he bury just an empty chest? Why even bother doing any of it?
Chim says, you don't think the probie double-crossed us, do you? And Eddie's like, well, at this point, I don't trust anyone. And when everyone looks at him, he's like, I mean, aside from you guys, obviously. Everyone else sucks.
Obviously.
I also, I do like that Eddie was in on, this. Taylor was in on it. Anna was not.
Mm-hmm. Didn't think to bring her in on it, did he? Immediately thought
She doesn't
Then
get
they
the
would
money,
have had to
clearly.
split it 5-way. Like,
Yeah.
Anyway.
No, but Alice is saying, like, instead of going to Buck and trying to split it with Buck, he could have gone to Anna. And, like, they could have searched for it together and split it 50-50.
Well, he works better with Buck.
Yes, he
That's
does.
his bud.
Yes, he
He's like,
does.
2 brains are better than 1. Eddie, you and Buck have never had 2 brains. Like, what?
And Anna's a teacher.
Yeah.
Honestly, I think Christopher would have done better than these two.
Hey, they got to the Narrows, didn't they? I mean, that was with Taylor.
Taylor
got to the Narrows.
Got to the Narrows.
Buck managed to use a calculator. That's all. Yeah. Anyway.
As per contract, Athena is the one who puts all the dots together, is the smartest person in the room, because she has the flash of brilliance that if there was going to be treasure that was going to be buried, Hollis wouldn't have been doing it. He wasn't the type to get his hands dirty, so his loving assistant would have been the one to do the dirty work. And she comes up with this scenario in her head, which is just her, like, bullshitting and theorizing. But we do, the audience, we get a flashback of Hollis telling Jeremiah, you know, I'm dying. You have to do this for me. I could be dead any minute. So Jeremiah does go down to the Glendale Narrows and bury the treasure chest. Except when Athena confronted Hollis after he, quote-unquote, broke back into his own house, and Jeremiah, we thought, stormed out of the house, he, in fact, just stormed out of the room and then stuck around to listen, and he heard all of the horrible things that Hollis said, realised that he had been used, and so he went back and dug up the treasure. That's Athena's theory.
Yeah, so then she reckons that there was treasure and this guy took it back, like took it for himself. But then they consult some, like Athena looks up some database of people who've left the country. I don't know how she
I'm going to say she
into
called
that, but
I'm going to say she called Romero and went, "Hey Romero, where is Jeremiah right now?" And they would have traced like a credit card and they found that he's booked plane tickets to the Maldives yesterday.
Or even just his passport, because I think the government do get notified when you leave the country.
Yeah. So they would have...
Because, fun fact, if you leave the country and you're on, like, Centrelink payments in Australia, your Centrelink payments immediately get stopped, even if you don't tell them that you've left the country.
Huh.
Mm-hmm.
So the government is notified, so they would have just, like, checked him in, like, oh, look. But yeah, he chartered a plane to the Maldives, thank you.
Which Taylor helpfully tells us there is no extradition treaty between the US and the Maldives. Although there is a question about whether he actually committed a crime that he would need to be extradited back to the US to face charges for.
And when Buck says, well, what else would you call it if not a crime? Athena says a severance package.
He deserved it.
If you bury treasure and someone else digs it up, like, finders keepers, right?
Yeah. I'm pretty sure that if it was a legitimate kind of treasure hunt, there would be sort of rules the way, like, competitions run in Australia, where it says that anybody who is employed with or a family of an employee or any way related to the entity that is running the competition are ineligible to win the competition.
I mean, they're terms and conditions. I don't think that's a legal thing.
Yeah, I was going to say that's, like, for official competitions too. Like, this one was just this guy bullshitting everybody, so...
True.
So yeah, I'm going with severance.
Oh yeah, 100%. The dude deserved it. Hollis was like a piece of work. Jeremiah definitely deserved that money.
Yeah.
So then we cut to where I start to not like Buck very much, because Taylor, hearing the news that there was actually a treasure and Jeremiah might have taken it, goes out to call her editors, trying to pitch a story. I think she wanted to fly to the Maldives to find him and actually ask him what went down. But the network has decided, and her editors have decided, that There Was Never a Treasure to start with is a better story, and they want her to drop it. And Buck says, I feel like your editors and your network, they don't know you very well. And Taylor's like, and you think you do know me well. And he says, well, I'm starting to. I also happen to think that we make a pretty good team. And Taylor's like, we suck as a team. This is like, we've teamed up twice, and both times we've ended up in being caught by police. And Buck's like, yeah, but, the rest of it was fun. And Taylor's like, yeah, it was fun. I'm so glad we're friends. And she walks off, and we're left with Buck sort of looking off in the distance going, friends. Great. And
he got friend-zoned.
He got fucking friend-zoned, and I hate it. I absolutely hate that. I know that the show is actively pushing the Taylor and Buck romance, but they wrote Taylor as only wanting a friendship with Buck. Possibly no strings attached sex, but she kept saying, I don't have friends. And then talking about how, Buck was being nice to her because that's what friends do. They are becoming friends. And for some reason, the writers decided that they were going to write Buck as some kind of red pill incel that takes friendship as, if you are friends with a woman, you are only friends with a woman in order to get into her pants. Or your reward...
Which is stupid, because, that was Buck 1.0. We're now up to Buck 3.0.
Buck 3.0 is much more respectful of women. Buck 3.0 would be very capable of just being friends with a woman. But no, he's like, I'm being friends with you, and as a reward, you have to fuck me.
I totally would have got it while they were drunk, because of, they have slept together a few times while drunk, right?
Yes.
So I totally get while they were drunk, him moving closer, and then she being like, oh, no, actually, I'm talking about the treasure hunt, and him being like, oh, whoops, my bad, shit.
Yeah.
But yeah, this last scene is stupid.
Yes.
No, I just quite read it as him being a bit lovelorn and kind of thinking that he quite likes Taylor still, and then she's still brushing him off, and he's like, oh. But he doesn't push her into it or anything, so, I don't know. I didn't feel like he was being rude to her about it or anything. So.
Oh, no, he's not being rude to her about it, but for some reason, this show is pushing the narrative that men and women can't be friends, or that friendship is a gateway to a relationship. And we're supposed to feel sorry for Buck by the fact that Taylor friend-zoned him, when the friend zone does not exist. The friend zone is just what men say to shit on women, basically, that won't sleep with them. And it's a shitty narrative, and I hate it, and I hate that they're using it in this episode. That's just my thoughts, my reactions.
Yeah, that's
fair.
But
I don't like it. Buck is better than that. This show is better than that. Sometimes it's also incredibly conservative and incredibly stuck to gender norms. But I thought that Buck 3.0 was better than this.
There's a very loud frog outside my window.
Is there a heron out there as well? Do you see willow trees?
Oh my god. I do have a willow tree. We do have willow trees.
Go and look for an H on the ground.
And we do have a narrow waterway.
Quick, get a shovel.
Oh my god. I don't think what is it? A roaring... What's the roaring bridge thing? I don't think we have that. Hang on.
The Grey Bridge roared.
Yeah. Oh, it's kind of a bridge. It's got gravel on it. It's probably grey. The gravel's grey.
And that's the end of the episode.
So that is it.
So apparently next week it's just going to be Ellen and I because Alice will be off in the Maldives.
Yeah. Sitting on the beach.
So, fun episode.
Yeah.
But much like...
Stupid as fuck, but fun.
Stupid as fuck, but I get the same vibes from this episode that I get from Ocean's 911. Which is...
Yeah. Oh, absolutely.
They're trying to they're trying to set up a mystery, but they don't actually want the audience to have any part in participating in solving the mystery. They're just like, we're going to tell you the story. You just sit back and listen and let us tell you what happened. We're not going to drop any clues. There's going to be... I do actually wonder, though, because there's no way that we would ever have known that Jeremiah was the one who found the treasure, and there's no way that we ever would have worked out who killed Hollis or how Hollis died the second time. But I do wonder if anybody is listening to this, if you are a native of LA, or you've spent time in LA, or maybe you're just an American with an incredibly good grip on like geography,
maybe you've just played a lot of GTA 5.
Would the clues in that incredibly terrible poem or riddle, would you have figured out where it was in LA? Would you have known that it was the Glendale Narrows? I am very curious as to that part, but every other mystery that they set up, no hope in hell for the audience participating. And as we discussed in Ocean's 911, I like a mystery that I can choose whether I want to participate in or not. Like, sometimes I want to switch my brain off and just enjoy the story. Sometimes I want to actually get involved. But 911 won't let you do that. And that annoys me a little bit.
Yeah, I was also I guess they red herringed us into thinking that, okay, so there wasn't any treasure. And in a way, I would have preferred it to there not have been any treasure.
Yeah, if they stopped the episode there.
A big hoax.
If they didn't keep going with...
Even if it continued and then in the end there was no treasure, I would have been fine with that. But the fact that the guy actually took the treasure and fucked off with it, like that just made the whole thing just even more stupid than it was in the beginning. I don't know.
Also because you had this entire episode be about trying to find the treasure, and then they get to drop the red herring. Maybe there is a treasure, maybe there isn't. And then they decide to throw in an extra 2 mysteries.
And, like, why would the assistant put all the treasure into a bag and then rebury the chest? Like, was he just trying to make, what's-his-face look like a bad guy, maybe? I don't know.
Possibly.
Anyway, it was, like, when you switch your brain off and just watch it, it's fun.
Yes.
I actually enjoyed it watching this. More the second. Like, the first time I did sort of, like, tune out, I just wasn't that into it. But yeah, the second time I tuned in, like I was doing something else while watching, because obviously it was the second time I'd watched it, and I actually paused what I was doing and was just watching it and enjoyed it a lot more.
Because you knew what was going on. You knew that even though they got to maybe there was no treasure, you knew, hang on, I can't check out yet because we've still got another 15 minutes of this episode to go. Which is...
Yeah, and like, because I was like, it's like Ravi's second episode, let me watch more of Ravi, and... Buck and Eddie being idiots and more Taylor Kelly. And I feel like because I know the characters more now, it was more enjoyable.
Yeah, and I think it's important for television, especially network television shows that go into syndication, so you do watch them over and over and over again. I think rewatchability is important. However, I feel like this episode, you need to rewatch it in order to fully understand what is going on and fully enjoy the episode, which means that you failed in your attempt to tell the story if somebody has to hear the story twice in order to understand what is going on. Because at least Ocean's 911, you only had to watch it once and you understood what was going on the entire time. You were gripped with that story.
Yeah, whereas this one, I was Buck's like, I'm so confused, can we start over? I was that in this episode.
And then you risk alienating your audience because you're like, I don't actually care anymore. No treasure, I don't care.
Yeah, that was me towards the end of it. I'm like, I don't know what's going on anymore, and I don't really care.
Yes.
But yeah, and binging it, like, obviously last week's episode was very heavy. And, like, with Sue almost dying, I wasn't sure if she was going to die. And so this one's just comic relief. So it actually, like, when I binged it, it did give me a chance to sort of sit back and be like, okay, I can, like, let my brain decompress for a minute.
But I think you can do that and still, actually tell a good story.
Oh, definitely, yeah.
And be clever in the way you tell your story, or at least not treat your audience like fucking idiots.
No, none of us said this was a good story. We said it was fun.
I just want them to do one story that is fun and good. Like, give me one mystery that they do well.
Yeah.
Please. Season 9, I'm begging you, give me a mystery episode, give me a heist episode, give me something that you execute well, please.
All right, well, what have we got to look forward to next week then?
Next week, it's going to get a little bit heavier again. The members of the 118 make calls to say, okay, well, this one's not quite so heavy.
Never mind.
Not yet.
This particular one is not as heavy. The rest of them will be. Before I tell you what is going on, I will tell you that the title of the episode is Suspicion, and we are getting a themed episode. We've got the members of the 118 make calls to save a bridezilla at a disastrous wedding and to a mother trapped on her balcony. Meanwhile, Hen plays medical detective when her mother, Tony, falls ill. Also, Eddie and Christopher receive a gift. No, they receive a visit from Carla. Athena uncovers a secret that Bobby has hiding that puts their marriage on the rocks, and Maddie struggles with adjusting to motherhood.
Yeah, it is a little heavier.
The first trigger on our list of triggers is child abuse strongly implied to be Munchausen's by proxy. So, yeah, this one's not just going to be like rainbows and unicorns.
Yeah, strap in, guys.
We also have frank discussion of medical racism / fat phobia / misogyny, discussion of postpartum depression, and also a jump scare from a gunshot. And I am so glad that you've already seen this episode, because I would have hated for you to go into the episode going, wait, when's the jump scare? They promised me a jump scare.
Yeah.
Where's the kaboom? There's supposed to be an earth-shattering kaboom.
It was an earth-shattering jump scare.
It was definitely earth-shattering.
It's fine, guys. This is a really light episode. It's fine. Nothing happens. It's fine.
Yeah. So this next episode, Suspicion, is the 13th episode of the season. It is the penultimate episode. So soon we will be doing the wrap-up episode. It is a few weeks away at this point, but the sooner you get your season wrap-up thoughts together and let us know what you thought of this season, or which was your favourite episode or your least favourite episode, all the usual things that we like to discuss. I don't know how I'm going to put my thoughts on this season into order, honestly. I have to go back and look at each individual episode and work out. But you can email them to us. You don't have to worry about spoilers for the rest of this season because I've seen all the way up to the end of it. But please mark it as feedback if you're going to talk about spoilers for coming seasons, because I haven't seen them, obviously.
Yes, so strictly season 4 only, guys.
Well, season 4 or 3 or 2 or 1. Maybe.
True. Any episode, any season up to the end of season 4. Please don't go into season 5. As Ellen said, if you're after some ideas on what you want to talk to us about, you can just go on to a freeform ramble about your thoughts about the season in general. If you've listened to our wrap-up episodes in the past, you'll know that we usually go through our favourites and our not-so-favourites, that being episodes, storylines, characters, emergencies. If you would like to suggest Fuck, Marry, Kills for season 4, because I'm struggling to come up with characters to use for this season, so I'd appreciate the options. And now that Ellen has finished season 4, send us your buddy or general 911 fanfiction recommendations. Let us know what fanfiction you like to read so that we can get Ellen some ideas. But again, only up to season 4. So you might have to scroll through those fics just to make sure that they don't make reference to any season 5 or any season 6 storylines, but there are a plethora of really, really good buddy fics or general 911
so
fics
many.
That are season 4 references only or earlier. So send them in, please, because I've got a heap, but I'm sure that there are many, many more out there that I have not read yet.
We may discuss some of them in the wrap-up, or we may have an entire fanfiction episode.
Oh, I'm pushing for an entire fanfiction episode. I want the 911 spin-off of the Mixtape Book Club podcast.
I was going to say it's the Mixtape Book Club 911.
911 flavour.
Yes. But yes, send in your thoughts about the season, fanfic recommendations, or your thoughts about the podcast and our season 4. And if you have any questions for any of us, burning questions that you've had, is there anything about Australia that you'd like to know? Any fun facts that you would like to share with us of stuff that we have brought up during the season?
Do you have any dog training questions? Because I'm open to them too.
Basically, for whatever reason, we would like to hear from you, please.
Yeah, of course, you can also tell us about this episode as well.
And of course, if you're Megan Weston listening.
Oh, don't start that again.
Alice has a friendship bracelet for you with her number on it.
Have your people contact my people. I don't actually have any people, so I'm not sure who you'll be contacting.
No people. All right, so you can send all of that. The feedback is possibly better via email, which is contact@thatweewooshow.com, or via a DM on our socials. But you can leave comments on individual episodes or directly in Spotify or on YouTube or wherever you'd like, wherever you listen to us, and can leave a comment. That's all good. And the website, thatweewooshow.com, also has all the information about ways that you can subscribe to the podcast so you can find out when new episodes come out. Thank you everyone for listening this week, and we will see you next time to talk about episode 13, Suspicion. See you then.
Bye.
Bye.
911 is a fictional show, but many of the situations portrayed happen in the real world too. If any of the topics we've discussed in this episode have affected you, please know you're not alone. You can call or text numbers in your country for help. Just Google crisis support in your location to find out the number. If you enjoy our podcast, you can help us out by leaving us a review on Spotify or your preferred listening app, and by sharing our social media posts. Find out more at thatweewooshow.com.